Hey sir, I was gonna try and video call you to give you a progress update on my thing because stuff is going pretty well. But yeah, I'll just send you this video. So here's what I got. So basically, the plan with the water cooling is probably gonna come straight back, and then, well, anyway, the water cooling is not what I've been working on. I don't know why I got sidetracked with that. Anyway, I found this. This is the piece I was looking for earlier in the day. Found that. I got my coil as well. It's on, and instead of having this part be the bottom, now it is the top, and the bottom of it will go in to this hole that I cut with a jigsaw. And then I got this nut on. Maybe you can guess what this is. But before that, I got the main power cable actually attached. Check it out. Hold on, I'll just flip it up. Yep, attached. Stuff is getting very heavy. You might have caught a sneak peek of what I'm actually trying to do here. See them? The capacitors. That's a good shot right there. You can see I got them. My old configuration, there's several things wrong with it. The screws were too thin, for one, so now I'm using, basically, I'm actually using the biggest screw I can fit in there, which just by coincidence happens to be M6. And then, also another problem I was having is the bus bars were turning. And it's kind of a tight tolerance in the middle there. You don't really want them to touch, but you want to get as much surface area on the thing as possible. And before I was stacking them one on top of each other, but now that they're stacked end on end of each other, now they give each other some sort of stabilization because it's not just one screw holding the bus bar in place, there's two, so it's actually held in place. And then I plan on drilling holes here and here, and just running really short, undersized wire from the coil, from these things, to that bus bar. I'm going to drill a hole through the thing here to reach this one, and this one is already down here, so I won't need to drill a hole. I'll just, and since I know the wire is going to be undersized, but at the same time, it's going to be really short, which the length of it also affects how much current it can carry. So if it's short enough, I shouldn't need to make it too big. So, and then tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to order the water block for this, and maybe I'll CAD something to hold it on there as well. But yeah, after I get the water cooling set up, this thing will be ready to test because the last thing I need to do after the water cooling is the PLL, which is not a mandatory component, by the way. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff for me at least. Yeah. Oh, and here's my idea with the radiator. So remember how I had that one big one? Well, I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to try to use a housing unit air conditioning radiator. And basically what those are is it's like, basically the entire radiator will wrap around the outside. And then there's just a fan on top, and then there's a bunch of vents on all sides. So yeah, I think that will be sufficient for my pump and stuff. Yeah, really excited. I really like another design thing that's kind of small, but I really like with having this be the top instead of the bottom now, is that it's really well supported, because before this side was supported well, but when I had it flipped up, I'll show you. Oh, well, I can't because the nuts are in there. But when I had it flipped up, basically I had another piece of wood like this, and it was just sitting on top of there, and it just kind of sucked. But this hole, it is much more supportive. It's basically resting on this bottom piece, and it supports it very well. I might even screw a piece of wood like this sticking out from here. But yeah, I am very pleased with the way things are coming out. So yeah, and the power cable's on too, so very cool. I do need to buy a new plug because I only have the old school 3-pronger over here, and really I need a 4-pronger, even though I don't need the ground connection. You know, should probably still do it the right way. I'm not sure if Bud has one of these at Tesla Fest, or if, what's his face? Is Roger. I'm not sure if that is the plug that Roger has, but if it's not, I'll just bring my plug and make an adapter, and if he has a 3-pronger, then I'll use ground as neutral. But, yeah, that is, I'm very pleased with the progress. It's almost ready to test. It's like right there, so I'm very excited to test this thing. It's been a long time coming, and I think it's going to perform very well. Also, I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, I drilled through one of my capacitors today. Luckily it was the worst capacitor. This one right, 75,000. Drilled right through that thing. I was making a hole for this part of it right here to put that zip tie in, and that capacitor was right underneath. Luckily, when I was snooping around at my apartment looking for this thing, actually, I found, or it might have been here just on my desk somewhere, I found a capacitor that I have that is identical in specs to this black one here, 100 voltage, 10,000 microfarads, except only difference is it's much bigger. You can see it, it's the gray one there, but it's actually better spec than the old one. Even though it's only 100 volts, the other one is still 350 volt rated, so together it's 450. So it still works. So, and I boosted my capacitance by 5%. Here, I'll show you I have it calculated over here somewhere in one of these things. I think it's actually the NASA one. No, it's not the NASA one, I'm mistaken. It is the green one. Yes. So, before, my total capacitance was 8.78 microfarads. Now my capacitance, or millifarads, that's millifarads. And then now my total capacitance is 9.24 millifarads. It's an increase of 5.2%. I didn't calculate the difference, but I think it's good. It's still a lot more farads, so